Hey guys, how's it going? Webhub Susanti here, and I am super excited. I don't know how to convey how excited I am today because today is content magic. Welcome to the module 4, folks. Today I'm gonna run you guys through everything about content. Guys, here's the thing. I have clocked over 100 million views on my content on LinkedIn, and there's been amazing learnings across. I've learned multiple things doing that, and I'm gonna share quite a lot of things with you people. Obviously, we don't have enough time to share everything in this world, but I will share the best things with you people in this awesome module 4. I know a lot of you people have been waiting, saying Webhub, we've been waiting for the content day. Content. There have been questions about content. There have been questions about how can I get more reach, more likes, more comments, more shares. How can I come up with content? What is the right kind of content? Hundreds of questions like that you might have or have already asked me and haven't got answers to yet. This is where you get all your content questions answered, my friends. So welcome to the module 4, the content magic. All right, so without wasting more time, let's just get started because it's a long slide to go. All right, the first thing is, content even important? Now, if somebody is asking me this question, I would tell, boss, which world do you live in, right? Content is that channel through which you could reach out to your audience again and again and again. So content on LinkedIn is the holy grail. It's probably one of the most important aspects of LinkedIn. Obviously, you need to get your audiences right, but once you have your audiences right, content becomes a channel of communication with all of them at scale. Now, when I create a piece of content, tens and thousands of people can see my content. What is that? That is me communicating with them in scale. I can't do that on a message personal level, right? That's what content helps you to do that. So content is freakishly important. All right, even if you're not comfortable writing content, well, you need to get yourself comfortable with, because there's always a start, right? Now, more reasons why you should create content on LinkedIn. There are hundreds of reasons, but here is something that I have for you which will probably convince you to create content on LinkedIn. Here's the thing, guys. 90% of the audiences on LinkedIn are dead. Now, what do I mean by dead audiences? Are these like fake profiles, Webhub? No, that's not what I mean. What I mean by 90% dead audiences is they don't do anything. They are probably either are inactive on LinkedIn, or even if they are active on LinkedIn, they don't consume content. Sorry, that's the wrong word. They don't engage with the content. They probably see your content, but you know what? They're going to read your content, scroll and move on. But there is 6 to 8% of the audience on LinkedIn. Out of 100 people, about 6 to 8 people only like or comment or share on your post. And that's how people are on LinkedIn. They are not used to engagement. You see, LinkedIn didn't have those cool features of double tap to like, or like swipe to share, or any shit like that. So LinkedIn has never incentivized users to be engaging with their content, engage with others' content. As a result, users on LinkedIn are also a little reserved, right? They don't want to like and comment because others will get to know what they like or comment. So they have their own set of reservations. As a result, the engagement on LinkedIn is actually lower than usual other social networks. But here is the meat of all this conversation. Only 1 to 2% of the total audience on LinkedIn actually create content. If you think about it, 1 to 2% people create content on LinkedIn, about 7 to 8% engage content on LinkedIn, and the other 90% are consumers of content or are inactive, let's say. So if you are part of this program, the LinkedIn workshop, I want you to be in the bucket of 1 to 2% who is creating content on LinkedIn. All right. Now, there are hundreds of advantages for that, which you obviously know by now. But then, without wasting more time, let's get started. So, I analyzed my 20 posts in total, which had over 15,000 engagements. What do I mean by engagements? Likes, comments, shares, everything around that. They are called engagements. Okay. So you can see the summary here. The first degree connections, the total engagements were 2,061. That is 13% came from my first degree engagement. What are first degree engagement? People who I'm directly connected with. They are friends with me on LinkedIn. The second degree connections or mutual friends were 78%. So 78% of the engagement on my content was from mutual friends. And the other 8% came from third level connections. That is beyond mutual friends. basically came from that. So basically the funny thing is 20% of the only 20% of the total engagement came from people who are either my first level connections or are my followers. Okay. The remaining 80% of the engagement came from people who are not even following me or are not even connected with me. What does that mean? If you are able to create good content, even if you don't have massive following, if you have good content, and if your initial set of audiences that are connected with you, that your first level of connections, if you have them engage with your content can do really well. That, my friend, is a huge advantage that you have. Your followers actually don't matter if you have great content. Followers are a byproduct. Creating good quality content should be your end product or end game. All right. So now, what can a good post do? I wanted to show you a quick example of what a good post can do for you. Okay, this was a post that I had recently posted like 4 months back, but I tracked engagement, so I wanted to show you the old example in itself. So this was about Facebook acquiring 10% stake at Jio, right? You can see the post had 5,000 likes with over 237 comments, which resulted in this spike. April 23 of week, that is when this happened. You can check out the dates. It resulted in such a transient spike. You can see 37% increase in last week's. As a result, a 140% week on week increase in search appearances as well. That is the power of good content. So all of you people who have these graphs, that is the profile views graph flat, start creating content, you'll see the spikes going up. And always do share the screenshots as well. All right, I'm 100% confident that's gonna happen because that's what happens. All right, I've tested this over and over and over again, guys. So yeah, FYI. All right, when you're talking about content, right, there are two types of content on a very high level. Okay, one is for your own profile. That is, you're creating content on your own profile. As simple as that. What do I mean by that? That is this: you go to your profile, you go to your LinkedIn, write a post, create a piece of content, and post it. Obviously, I'm not going to post this. This is one form of creating content. That is, you're creating content for your own profile. Now, what is the other form of creating content, WebHub? Before we go there, let me show you some insights. So this, my friends, is the highest highest engagement on any of my posts. This was a post that I'd done a month back. This was on Zomato. 45,000 likes with 1,100 comments. It had almost 2 million in reach. That is the power of good content. Again, you can look at this: about 7 lakh reach here, 10,000 likes, about 4 lakh reach here, 5,000 likes odd. That is one form of creating content for your own profile. Now, any guesses what could be the second form of content? Any guesses? Pause the video and think, what could be the other form of content? What is WebHub even talking about, right? For others' profile. Now, this is, I'm not talking about ghostwriting. I'm talking about engaging with others' profile by dropping a valuable comment. This is what happens, guys. This was Tanmay Bhatt's post where he was talking about YouTube channel is your startup, and then I commented something really nicely. This was second form of creating content. You can look at that. The comment in itself had 139 likes and 5 replies. As a result, the comment stayed in the top. This is another way of creating content, because the idea of creating content here is to get visibility, right? So you can create content on your profile, which you should definitely do, but also start engaging. Be the part of not just 1 to 2%, but also the 6 to 8%. You get my point? So that you increase your chances. So you can see one more comment. This is Subhendu, who's a good friend and a co-founder of Skillinza. He basically commented on one of my posts, which got 124 likes. So the reason why I'm giving you an external example as well is because you guys need to know that you don't have to be very big. All you have to drop is a sane comment, and that will do exceptionally well. All right. With that being said, engage with your target audience content. This is what I mean by this, right? What do I mean by that? You need to engage with your target audience content. For example, let's say there's a client of yours talking about something. You need to drop a comment. It has multiple advantages to that. One is that your client will notice you. Okay. 2 is that all the relevant audiences who are people like your client will also notice you. The same goes with HR. Let's say you're looking for a job and the HR at Google made a post. Start commenting on that and give a valuable comment, not some random comment. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about here. Don't just randomly comment shit like great post, good job, awesome, for the namesake of it. Spend some time reading the post and drop a valuable comment. That is very, very important. Your comment needs to stand out, and if your comment is standing out, people will notice you. As a result, you won't believe this could also lead to an increment in terms of followers, because people, when they see a good comment, they're like, who is this guy who's making sense? So they click on your profile and check you out, and that might lead to a follower. Okay, so you can see, I'll tell you about this post. A lot of you might have already noticed that I've done an interview with Tanmay Bhatt on my YouTube channel. How did I make it happen? For all those people who are not from India, Tanmay Bhatt is one of the most known stand-up comedians in the country. Okay, so all it did, the way I reached out to him was very simple. I made a really nice comment, and after this comment was made, obviously he must have noticed me, and then I DM'd him on LinkedIn. I wrote him a message on LinkedIn, for which he replied, and I got him on a live session. How cool is that? One comment can change your life. All right, with that being said, let's come to the most important aspect of today's module, that is creating content that goes viral. Here's the thing, there is no effing formula. All right, there is no magic pill that, oh, I'm gonna follow these, and from tomorrow I'm gonna get thousands and thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of views and things like that. There is no magic pill. Okay, there is a structure, a syntax that you can follow, which can increase the chances of your content doing much better. And this is based on data. This is based on all the experiments that I've done. That is what I'm going to share with you people. Okay. And also something else that you need to keep in mind is you never get what you expect. So if you have an expectation that every post that you will make by following the formula is going to do amazingly well, my friend, that is not the case. You can look at a few of my posts, right? This is a post that I made a couple of days back. 554 likes and 45 comments with 39,000 reach. This is one more post, 42,000 reach. One more post, 66,000 reach. One more post, 60,000 reach. Now you might be like, Vaibhav, that is amazing reach. Well, guys, remember one thing. I have 2 lakh followers. I have 200,000 followers. All right. Usually my content does pretty well. My average reach of a post on LinkedIn is about 70 to 100,000. Look at this. This was a post that I made 12 hours back, 65,000 reach. All right, I'm gonna skip the image right now. Look at this, 72,000 reach, 180K, 273K. This is the bad post that I'm talking about, right? 150K, 257K, right? Look at the reach, guys, 257K, 148K, 39K. So that's what I'm talking about, right? 187K, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's why I call these posts bad. That doesn't mean that you getting 40,000 reach is bad. For you who have like 5,000 followers, this is amazing, right? But I'm talking in perspective to kind of profile I have. You never get what you expect. Even if you follow every rule and restriction that you do, you will still fail. I still personally fail, right? And these are prime examples. Only like 2 posts out of 5 posts that I create do better than other posts. And that's how it is. If you know how to create viral content, and if every post that you create goes viral, I will become a billionaire, man. Right? I can get any brand to go viral and they will keep paying money for the skills that I have. That's not possible, right? Virality happens. A reach of a post happens when people want it to happen. When people really fall in love with your content. But all you could do is increase the chances of it by following the structure that I teach you. All right? Now, the biggest thing here is consistency, guys. Now, you would say, Vaibhav, how can I increase my chance of my content doing really well? Consistency. Guys, remember one thing. Consistency is the biggest growth hack. All right. So challenge yourself. Make sure you put 3 or 4 posts a week minimum consistently for at least a couple of months before you expect to see any kind of results. Because again, if it was so easy, everybody would have done it, right? But the advantage here is you have me as a mentor here for LinkedIn. So I am teaching you, I'm already giving you a cheat sheet. So for you to become successful, it becomes much easier. Guys, I've had students who have clocked million, 2 million, 3 million, in terms of reach per month using the same formulas that I'm going to talk about right now. All right. So consistency, my friend, is the biggest growth hack. So remember this. All right. So look at this. I mean, I'm just not making up something, right? Look at this. From June 3rd to August 31st, this is like 3 months data, 13 million views, 200,000 likes, 18,000 comments. My followers have gone up from 150K to 210K. 112 posts created, almost on an average of 1 post per day. All right. So a lot of you people might have this question saying, Vaibhav, you can see the engagement rate is dropping. It has dropped from 2% to 1.37%. That is because that's how social network is. The engagement rate will keep going down. Organic reach will keep going down. The only way to battle it out is with good content consistently. All right. A few people might ask, Vaibhav, you have created 1 post per day. Does that mean that I have to create 1 post per day as well? Not really. If you think about it, about 7 or 8 months back, I was not creating 1 post per day. It's not easy, guys, to create good content, right? Always quality over quantity. That's what I strongly believe in, right? But I slowly got better. Before this, about a year back, I used to create 2 posts per week max, 1 post per week usually, right? When I have something really nice to put, that is when I put, or else I don't put anything, right? But for you, do what you're comfortable with, but make sure the quality of the content is good. All right. So that's the idea. Now, before let's move on, I don't want to go very deep into this because you get the idea here, right? Consistency work, and that's the idea here. Now, what works the best? You might have this question, Vaibhav, what works the best? Written, image, videos, or PDFs or carousel posts. So let me clarify right now. All right. The long answer short is written posts. You will see across the presentation today that written posts will have much higher reach than of any other post. I don't know the reason. I'm talking based on data. The written posts, I'm not talking about LinkedIn articles, guys. I'm talking about LinkedIn posts. So these are LinkedIn posts. I mean, for all those people who are getting confused saying what is the post Vaibhav and what is the article, right? So if I go here to my posts, so what you see here, these are posts. So written posts, this is a written post. This is the best form of content which does really well on LinkedIn. Now, what are articles? There's a nice little tab here which says articles. Here, these are long form. These are like blog articles. You see, it's like a blog form of LinkedIn. It does okay as well, but it depends on what you want to do. But if in terms of reach, LinkedIn post does the well. Images are the worst by far, and I'm going to show you how. Videos depends kind of videos that I want to put, and carousel posts have an advantage. I'm going to talk about each of these aspects. Like I've said, written posts is something that do well, so I'm going to skip it. Skip to the next one is image posts. But the problem is image posts will fail. They don't get reach. You can look at the averages, right? Again, I'm playing the law of averages, guys. Usually my average, like I told you, is 100K, 90 to 100K per post. But you can look at this, 39,000 reach for the Tanmay Bhatt one. This was Ranveer's, which was 27,000 reach. This, which was posted 13 hours back, only has 17,000 reach. So LinkedIn, for some reason, doesn't push images for some reason, no matter what the image is. But if you are somebody, let's say graphic designer or somebody for whom designs or images like this is important, put it up. But try to stay away from images. Only use it if they are very, very important, and that's the only way for you to convey what you want to convey. For matter, these. Right here, I'm talking about having a podcast. So here, images convey and, capture attention much better than a written post. But if you're one of those people who say, Vaibhav, can I make, since I'm writing an article, since I'm writing a piece of content about digital marketing, can I create a nice little image and type digital marketing on that and push that? Just a digital marketing, like a cover picture. Nope. That's not what you should do, because that's going to decrease the reach of your images. But when images work, images does work, okay? But only in a few cases when the focus of the whole thing is on the image. For example, here, I got back to office almost after 3 months and I took a picture of that with a mask and I put that up. This did well because the focus is with me being there in the office. As a result, people liked it. Genuinely, the post did very well. For example, the next example is this, right? I was talking about how I upgraded my setup from this 18 months ago to this. This I cannot convey in form of words. So I have to use an image. And in these cases, images do well, but there are very few cases, guys. I've done so many image posts and I could only find these 2 examples which did well. So you get an idea. The cracking the code of image is not that easy, but if you're a designer, interior person, or whatever that is, You can use images because that's the only way to convey information for you, right? Videos work, but it depends on how you look at it. If you look at it, this video has 10,000 views, 35,000 views, 80,000 views. Here's the thing. My average video gets about 25,000 views, right? On an average. This is a bad video, obviously, but 20 to 25,000 views, while a regular post gets 100K on an average. Now, if I'm given an option, I would choose videos every time over a written post. Why? The reason is simple, guys. On a written post, people can only associate with me with this headshot. That is, oh, the guy in this picture is Vaibhav. If I change that image also, a lot of people won't recognize me because they don't associate. A human brain doesn't associate with the text. The human brain associates with the picture. Now, the advantage of a video is the face value. Even if only 35,000 people saw the video instead of 100,000 people, 35,000 people will relate to your face. 35,000 people are looking at your face. They will remember your face if they watch you again and again. That is the power of video. The recall of you is very powerful. So if you can create videos, please do. The reason why I don't do it is because I'm lazy and it takes in a lot of effort, right? That's why I kind of shy away from videos. But I do it when it's needed. And finally, carousel or PDF posts. What are these? Okay, so you can also upload PDFs onto LinkedIn, and this is what carousel posts look like. All right, on your LinkedIn, you can upload a PDF by clicking on document, and you can upload a PDF here. And once you do, right, obviously here you can see swipe here, so people can swipe and there are multiple images. It's like a presentation, right? Let me try to show you guys that here if I can. So carousel post actually does pretty well. The reason is, every social network, when it launches a new feature, right, they would want that feature to do well because of adoption. So as a result, they try to boost the reach of those kind of posts. All right, so these LinkedIn, these carousel posts actually does decently well. And if you have some really good information that you want to share, you can do it in form of PDFs like I'm showing you here. Look at this. This is a PDF. All right, you can see 1 out of 10, right? And I can just scroll through. It's basically a presentation which is downloaded as PDF and uploaded onto LinkedIn, guys. That's about it, right? You can upload any kind of PDF here, and these do decently well. For example, right, you already see the example here, 14,000 likes and 79,000 reach here, 14,000 likes and 57,000 reach. I don't know why this discrepancy, maybe it has more comments, but you get the point. It has the early adopter advantage. So if you can create posts like this, they do well as well. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk about it. Now, content that does really well on LinkedIn. Let's focus on the content that does the best on LinkedIn. That is the written content. Now, you might say, Weber, what kind of content can I create on LinkedIn? Well, the first kind of content that you can create on LinkedIn, which does exceedingly well, is stories. People relate to stories. People draw inspiration from you from stories. Now, FYI, don't create fake stories. If only talk about things that has happened with you. Every human being can only have limited stories. If you are one of those people who is creating one story per day, people already know that you're a fake. Okay, stop being fake. Stop copying other stories. If you have legitimately some interesting stories, which everybody does, instances in your lives are also stories, pen them down in form of posts. Look at this. I created this post about my move to Mexico 4 months back. 10,000 reach, guys, 700K reach. This is about 8 years back when my father expected me to get into an IIT and I couldn't get into one, but I eventually spoke in IIT. 280K reach. I'm talking about my education loan. 4 lakh reach. Here I'm talking about pocket money and why was it? I mean, it's a story, guys. It's about an instance that has happened with me. Again, 250K reach. The beauty of stories is relatability. Right, when I say that 1500 rupees was my pocket money when I was in 11th grade, a lot of people can relate to it because even they had shitty pocket monies, right? So that's the whole point. When I talk about education loan here, people want to know because they relate to it, and that's the power of stories. So if you can create content which is your story, just don't come up with random crap for the sake of it. And I have a request. Stop copying other stories. If you're one of those people, stop doing that just for the sake of likes and comments. Stop selling your soul for likes and comments. All right? Don't be that person. Moving on. Start Trend jacking. What do I mean by trend jacking? There are so many things happening all over the internet. If I go to google.com and if I go to news, let's say I just go to news and I just say startups. Okay, let's say you like talking about startups. Right now, the moment I say that, there are bunch of stories which are right now trending. For example, Shan Zuckerberg initiative backs Indian education startup with $113 million. That's a funding story. If you are somebody who is inclined towards startups, creates content, this is a nice little trend jack, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Start converting what is trending right now in form of content and give your perspective on that. That is called trend jacking. You can look at this. When Mahendra Singh Dhoni retired, I created a post talking about, because MSD had just retired from cricket. So I said 6 things that I personally learned from MS Dhoni. Look at that. 5,000 likes with 3 lakh reach. 5,000 likes, right? This one, when Reliance are in talk to acquire TikTok India for $5 billion, 2,000 likes. Baiju acquiring White Hat Junior, 300 million USD, 200,000 reach. Now here's the thing, guys. I'm just not writing what is in the news. I'm giving my perspective. I'm saying, I'm talking about, you can look at this, they can literally model almost all the other subjects. So here I'm talking about why Baiju acquired White Hat Junior for $300 million. Here I'm talking about why it makes sense or why it doesn't make sense for Reliance to acquire TikTok in India. If you just write what has happened in form of, if you cannot be a news publication, you have to give your perspective. That's what matters. And this is some very interesting form of content that you can create. Alright, next is voice your opinion. Now this is a very important thing. What you personally think should be voiced out on LinkedIn. And a lot of people are actually scared of what others will think. It doesn't matter. Talk what you believe in. Voice it out. People like it. Give your strong perspective. It works. You can look at this. We are okay to spend lakhs of money for engineering, but we don't want to spend money when it comes to starting a business. Is a post that I made. 2 lakh reach, guys, with 3,000 likes. Okay, here I'm talking about how you should be hustling on a Sunday if you really want to make it big. 4,000 likes. Again, my own perspective. A lot of people say, how can you be working on a Sunday, Webhub? It's a rest day. But you know what? That's my perspective. I think people who really want to do well in life have to do things beyond others do. And that's why I work on Sundays as well. All right. Look at this. Here is my perspective. One of the biggest reasons why people are not successful. All right, because they're too lazy and everything around that. And I made a post of it, 3,000 likes. Again, the same thing. I'm giving a perspective. Stop spamming, about jobs here. Here about investments and how to start a business. Here about more of people wasting their time on Netflix, right? These are my personal opinions on what I think about these topics, and I just voice them out. And either people like it or don't like it, but people definitely appreciate it. All right. And that's why people are on LinkedIn, to have discussions. That's what you're enabling people by creating a content piece like this. You're enabling discussions. All right. The other thing, for all those people who are trying to acquire businesses or do business from LinkedIn, the other thing that you should definitely do is share case studies about your business. Let's say you have helped a specific client to get business, and how did you help them? Don't make it in a form that people can gain value. Let's say you helped a client with Facebook ads and you got them 5x ROI of it. Make a post about what you did for that client. That is insanely powerful, guys. I'm talking about how I did a growth hack when I was working for Uber. Here I'm talking about what I did to get 18K profile visits in last 90 days on LinkedIn. These are case studies. People really, really like case studies. All right. So that is one form of content that you can create. Like I said, stories, trend jacking, case studies, and voice your opinion. These are 4 kinds of content that you can, in terms of posts, that you can create on LinkedIn, which can do extremely well on LinkedIn. I hope that makes sense, guys. But there's one thing that I want to ask you people. Have you noticed something common here? If you think about it, there is something called as a perfect LinkedIn post. The syntax that I'm talking about, the structure that I was talking about. If you look at this, I use the first lines of the post to drive attention. What do I mean by that? first couple of lines of the post acts like a title of a blog post. It has to be the hook. It drives the attention. So if you think about it here, I was talking to somebody at Google yesterday and she mentioned that it's almost mandatory to use memes in all their internal emails. Now people are like, what? Memes in email at Google? This doesn't sound right. And people click on see more. The first two lines intrigues them to read the whole post. This was one day back, guys, and you can see the post has done 3,000 likes with 200 comments in it. 1.8. This was a post that I made today, right? And you can see 2 lakh reach on that post. Why? Because people clicked on the see more button. If there was no see more button, they wouldn't read the whole post. As a result, you won't get engagement, right? The first 2 lines is extremely important. Those lines drive attention. So here's the perfect LinkedIn post, guys. The hook makes people to click on see more. The first 2 lines, like I said, once you post, you see the see more. If I go to LinkedIn, if I scroll across the feed, right? Look at this, see more, right? LinkedIn doesn't show the whole post. It masks it, right? Let me scroll down. Look at this, see more again, right? See more. That's the whole point, guys. That's the whole point. You have to trigger the see more button for people. All right. That's very, very important. Now, next part is once people click on see more, what's next? There is something called as the LinkedIn Dwell algorithm. All right. LinkedIn Dwell algorithm awards people awards those posts if people spend more time on reading your LinkedIn post. As a result, you need to create an engaging story for people to be hooked. So the center part of the content is for making people engage with the piece of content so that they read through it. And finally, the most important point after the hook is the call to action. Guys, more likes will lead, more comments will lead to more reach. All right. So always end the post with a call to action to make the reader take action. So you are basically asking, you're ending here, what is your take on memes? That's what I'm asking here. So I'm asking a question and I want people to answer it in the comment box. As a result, I get more engagement. As a result, my post gets more reach. So this is the perfect LinkedIn post, guys. Start with a hook. Have a nice little body in form of engaging content and always end with a call to action. This is the perfect LinkedIn post. All right. So quick tips: avoid bulky long paragraphs on your LinkedIn. Please avoid that. Now, next is break the post into smaller lines. You see, the advantage of breaking the post into smaller lines is it makes the post readable. If you write bulky paragraphs, it's going to become very difficult for people to read because, a lot of people don't want to put in effort to read your post. As a result, they'll skip it out. So breaking down into smaller lines always helps, and it also makes it readable and more optimized for mobile phones, right? Mobile phones have smaller screens. When you put bulky text, the paragraph becomes more bulkier. As a result, people tend to ignore those posts. All right. So that makes it mobile optimized. And then keep it simple and short. What do I mean by short? Should I write 3-4 lines? Not really, right? Write only that much that is needed. All right. Don't try to stretch it like a chewing gum. There are 1,300 characters that LinkedIn allows you to write a post on, and you don't have to use all of them, to be very frank, right? Write the perfect post. I mean, it has to be as long as it needs to be. And also you can go use 3 to 4 hashtags towards the end of the post. And finally, be authentic. Don't just copy other posts and stuff like that because the post did well for someone else. Don't just copy paste stuff. Please be authentic. Don't sell your soul for a bunch of likes and comments. It's not worth it. All right. That, my friends, is a perfect LinkedIn post. Now, there is one thing that I want to slightly talk about is hashtags. Vaibhav, will hashtag help my post to go viral on LinkedIn? Well, sadly, let me break it down for you. Hashtags are not as powerful as it is on other social networks. Yes, hashtags could be very powerful in form of on a LinkedIn on a Instagram platform, but not on LinkedIn. Now, here's what I mean. The only way for your content to do well is when somebody is following a specific hashtag. For example, if I go marketing, there are 20 million people who are following the hashtag marketing. So if you create a content on marketing, so that post will start showing up here for people who are following the hashtag marketing. But if I go with something more like more niche, let's say digital marketing. If I go a little niche into this, you can look at this, that still has, but if I go nicher than this, okay, let's say Facebook ads or Facebook advertising for that matter, right? Look at that, only 785 followers follow. So this is a nice way to check out, guys. So what I will strongly recommend you is keep the hashtags broad, look at the number of followers that the hashtag has and use those hashtags. Because if somebody is following this hashtag, then LinkedIn might show your piece of content on their feed, okay? But don't expect some crazy, some crazy level of reach, because that's not gonna happen on LinkedIn. All right, keep the hashtags broad, keep 3 to 4 hashtags and keep it at the bottom. That is the formula for hashtags on LinkedIn. All right, so there are few things that I want you guys to definitely avoid. That is, don't talk about political or sensitive topics. Don't share links in the post. All right, so there are a lot of people, what they will do is they'll just share links, like a blog article. You found a nice little blog article, don't share that blog article on LinkedIn. Always put the link in the first comment. And finally, don't share videos of other platforms on your platform. For example, don't share YouTube videos. If you want to use a YouTube video, download the YouTube video if it is your video, obviously, and then upload it on LinkedIn natively. Don't share links. The reach of your post will go down because LinkedIn doesn't want you to leave the platform LinkedIn. So when you put an external link, when someone clicks on it, they leave LinkedIn. And every algorithm is always focused on one thing, that is a user retention. They want the users to stay on their platform for as long as they can. All right, so always keep that in mind. All right, with that being said, that was the content game, my friends. That was the content game for all. Now, I hope you had good time with this. Now, it's very important. That is, this time is task time. So what is your task today? I'm sure you guys guessed it already. Create a LinkedIn post. I would say come up with a story with the perfect post formula. What is the perfect post formula? Start with a hook, build a story, and then end with a call to action. These are the 3 checklists that you have to check. So the kind of post that you can do is a story post, which I would say go ahead and try. If you have not created content before on LinkedIn, try a story post. Try to trend jack a content piece. Voice your opinion or a case study. I've told you about multiple ways of creating content. Pick up any of these. Create your first piece of content with the perfect post formula and post it on LinkedIn. Now, final question that you might have, Vaibhav, what is the best time to post on LinkedIn? Guys, the best time to post on LinkedIn is between 9 a.m. to almost 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on your time. That is, if you're in IST, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. to 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. If you're PCT or whatever, if you're in other time zones, then your time zones. All right. Let's say your customers, all your audiences are in US, but you are in India. So you need to create content based on who your audience is. All right. So the time of posting should be based on where your audience is situated. So if your audience is in US, you post at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. US time. But if your audience is in India, you post from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So that is the best time to post. The reason is you need to post content when people are active on LinkedIn, and these are the hours when people are the most active on LinkedIn. All right. Now that is with the time, folks. So again, there is no hard and fast rule for anything that I say. All that I'm telling you is based on my own personal experiences. So feel free to experiment with it as well. I have no problem, but I told you what works for you. All right. So that is the assignment, and that is for today's module, my friends. I hope you guys enjoyed a lot. I hope you guys learned a ton. I'm looking forward for all your posts. If you're creating a piece of content, make sure you put the hashtag WebHubsVicinity so that I can find your post and I can check out your post, check out a few of your posts. All right, no promises made, but if you use the hashtag, it will help me to find your posts. All right, with that being said, guys, I wish you luck. Go through the video. This is so much of information overload for you people. If needed, watch the video again, and I wish you guys luck. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.